Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Marriage Shop with Mike and Wendy. Um, Happy Monday. Hopefully, all y'all had a great weekend. We had actually a really good weekend here in the Augusta area with the what's it called? The Arts and the Heart.
Arts in the Heart,
Yeah.
Augusta, yes. 90,000 patrons, visitors, aspiring artists, all those people descend on Augusta every year
Yeah.
to, I think, number one, take in the arts and entertainment. That's it, arts and entertainment. So there are artists, there are like creative artists, there are visual artists, there are performing artists.
Yeah.
And then there are people with food, and I think the food is it's a big draw.
That brings
it's a big
them out.
draw. It's an
Yeah.
international food festival.
Yeah, nothing against you artsy types. I mean, art is important. Culture and that sort of thing. Oh, but the food. So and they kind of theme it international. So there's food from places like, there's Latin America, there's why am I blanking on food? Oh, there's,
Cyprus. You said Cyprus?
I didn't say Cyprus.
Cyprus, Sudan, Thailand, Chinese, Trinidad, Samoa,
Lebanon.
Yeah.
Greece.
Yes.
So so there's a lot of amazing food. Anywho,
yes,
that was a good time.
Yeah. So before we get into anything else, we were on a few weeks ago with Horace and Judy Carney, and they were talking about the Augusta Weekend to Remember coming up the weekend of October the 18th. And we talked about it being half off through September the 23rd.
That's right.
And today is September the 23rd. So if you'd like to go and you haven't registered yet, I think you have a few more hours.
Yes. So register, right? Just go to weekendtoremember.com and you can do a search for the site, look for Augusta, Georgia, and you can register. And if you register tonight, then you get half off. And you have to have a group code on. Is it for everybody, or you have to have a group code? I think you have to put a group code in there.
I think you have to put a group code in there.
So I know ours is OGBC Evans.
Yes.
And the Carney's was, do you recall what that was?
WLM stands for Whole Life Ministries.
WLM. Horace and Judy. See, where's our producer?
What's a WLM? I guess.
Can y'all help me out? Put this, get this on our notes, please.
WLM Ministry. Okay, yeah. So, look at the replay 2 weeks ago. Horace and Judy.
Oh boy,
we're trying to remember their codes. So if they join us, we'll ask them again. So, Lovey Jameson Wright. Hello, thank you for joining us tonight. Sabrina Griffin, yes. Kim Aiken, Christina Janae. Hey. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Welcome.
I know. We're so glad you guys are here and supporting us. And so we were just talking about having a great weekend out at Arts in the Heart, Augusta. Yeah. And we were reminding you all, if you are still interested in attending the Weekend to Remember, that you should, by all means, register today to save half off. Kathy Watkins, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, check that replay because it's not on my phone. Anyway.
Okay, but in the meantime, OGBC Evans will get you half off.
That's right.
So what are we talking about tonight?
Oh, are you sure you want to get into this tonight?
In the marriage
because
shop.
we're not really pulling any punches here. I mean, we're
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about devices. Yes. Devices. And so
what kind of devices?
Well, you know what kind of devices? The ones that generally fit right here, right? Cell phones, pads, sometimes, laptops, portable devices that find their way into the places that you tend to be.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I was distracted by my device because my father-in-law was trying to video chat.
Dad, no, sir. We are not video chatting right now.
So yes, I was distracted by my device.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry. Kenyelle Norman, thanks for joining us. So, cell phones, tablets,
anything portable. No. walkie-talkies. What are we, 5th grade in the 70s? No, walkie-talkies are not the problem.
Okay.
Right. Or maybe, I mean, I say the problem, maybe some folks don't consider it to be a problem at all.
Oh, well, that's the question. And Christina Janae, did I say Christina Janae?
You did say Christina Janae.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So it's, so yeah, I mean, so the question is, are our devices dividing us? Actually, the Latin root of the word devices is what divis, right? It means, according to that, divided. I mean that. Right now, the truth is, as you kind of follow it from Latin to French to our current use, I mean, it's divided, and it's and the word is about separating something for a specific use. But at its core, division, separation is kind of what devices, that word is based on, right? And so, I don't know. I mean, these days, most people have some sort of a device, what we call a smart device.
Yes.
Interesting. We call it smart.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello,
So,
Opal Blanding.
hey, and so, but what you find is, I was reading an article, it's funny, this artist basically went through and he took all these, you see that article where he took
was on
the
Facebook
images?
this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he took the phones out and has people kind of looking at where the phones would be.
Yeah.
And in certain common situations. And it really kind of got my attention, like, wow, people at dinner, people who are, kind of intimately kind of sitting together, having a conversation, whatever. And he kind of captured how we might look.
Yeah. Yes.
If you remove that phone out of our hands. And it got me thinking about, reminiscing a little bit of the days before, we were inundated with electronic devices.
Okay.
It has completely changed how we communicate, how we interact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us, Camilla
Mark
Freeman.
Jenkins, what's up?
Camilla Freeman.
Oh, hey, Camilla. Sorry.
And Mark Jenkins. So yes, it has. So here's the thing, because we have to be courteous to everybody that might be joining us, right?
Courteous.
So for us, there was a time before cell phones.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
let's
about.
just be honest, right? But for some, there was no time before cell phones.
Well, yes.
Yes.
So if you're basically born after 99, no, I'm just joking. Okay, fine. I mean, that's true.
I'm just saying. So it changes the narrative a little bit.
That's it.
Oh, Mark Jenkins says, Perry, what up, Playboy?
Mark, and then he corrected the spelling. Way to go, Mark. Yeah, no, hey, it's good. It's good, fam. Man, Mark Jenkins, listen. Come on, we go way back. It's good. It is a figure of speech.
That's the challenge. You go
up.
way back.
We go
To win, Mark.
See, look, Christina
Care to
Janae was
elaborate?
alive before cell phones, and so we good, right?
Yeah. Oh, was
Okay.
she? Okay.
There you go.
She was alive before cell phone.
That's what she said.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
amen, sister.
Hey, there you go.
So what are we talking about? Hey, Alistair, I thought you were just going to catch us on replay. Glad you could join us. And so with that said, you were going down the road of our devices, handhelds, dividing us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, I just put up a poll question because I just want to get right into it, right?
Fancy.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
one or both of us use smartphones while in the bed at night. I mean, I'm not trying to get all in your bedroom or whatever, but I'm just curious as to what the answer is to that question for you.
I
Just
voted.
curious.
I voted. Oh, look. What?
100%. 100%
Ooh.
of people apparently use. Anyway,
Is that right? Huh.
what?
I was just looking at, was that everybody?
No, it's probably just you. We will look at the
Oh, okay.
we will look at the analytics later. Yes.
So Kim
Anyway.
Aiken, as we look at that, Kim Aiken says, I totally agree that devices have changed the way family time was actually quality time.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see all devices put up for at least an hour
Mm-hmm.
or two after work so we can all focus on one another.
Mm-hmm.
Alistair Banks says, I feel like devices can consume our time and energy. We have to learn to put them away at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
Opal Opal Blanding says, sadly, we both do, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Then Kim came back and said, when I communicate, I like undivided attention, especially when it's time for intimacy. And then Jennifer Marner says, guilty. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being honest.
We're not here to judge, right?
Yes.
Certainly, we should not sit in the scorner seat. But listen, here's the thing.
Did you say in the scorner?
In the scorner seat. It's from a poem,
What
House by
poem?
the Side of the Road, Sam Walter Foss. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
Sam Walter Foss. Anywho, here's the thing.
Yeah, started out with Latin.
It's not your, I know, I'm going all in tonight. It's not quite your fault. Not exactly, right? Because think about it. Think about the times that we use, like cell phones in particular,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Somebody's talking to us, the thing buzzes, and you just have to look, right? You have to play that game. You got to play the next level and the next and the next, right? Or you're
Right.
checking on,
I kind of feel like you're talking about me right now.
I mean,
Welcome, Charles
if
Jones.
the phone case fits. All I'm saying is we have to somehow, there's something that compels us to do whatever we're doing,
Mhm.
even when we know, right? You can be
Mhm.
talking, there are occasions now when you can be meeting with someone, for example, and your
Mhm.
phone goes off. I mean, there was a time when you would never dream of picking up that phone. And yet people would be like, oh, excuse me. And they take a look. Now what? Now I want to shut all this down right now. In case you're about to go this route for the people, listen to me. I don't want to hear anything about, well, if suppose it's an emergency. I'm not really trying to hear that.
No, here's what I was gonna say.
What?
When you said that, we've been conditioned before cell phones. We've been conditioned to answer a ringing phone, and so I was thinking about that because you remember the old telephone ring, right?
Mhm.
An old telephone, a phone ringing drives you crazy.
Yeah.
It's like you absolutely stop everything
Mhm.
because it's so loud. It intrudes. It interrupts.
Yeah.
You stop everything. You answer the phone.
Okay.
So we were conditioned
Uh-huh.
to respond in that way.
Is
And
that
so now?
Is that your story?
Yeah. So now when there's a beep or a buzz, it's like it is as loud. I mean, we've just already been conditioned.
I can't.
You don't think
I
we're
would love.
conditioned?
Well, it's a different type of conditioning, right?
Okay.
Before it was, we answered the
Mhm.
phone because the expectation was the phone's ringing. I'm going to answer it to see who it is. That was kind of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, now the phone. There's so many alerts, buzzes, chimes, beeps,
Red
numbers.
My
right?
favorite. Yes.
And so the developers of these devices, we talked about it before,
Mhm.
they capitalize, and we're about to go to class just for a second, if you will allow me.
Okay, well, hold on before you do. Welcome, Clarence Perry.
What's
Sorry
up?
I couldn't answer your video chat
Come on, man.
because I was here.
No, no
Linda
video
Mackey, thanks for
chatting.
joining us. Lauren Santana, Macon, thanks for joining us. Okay, so go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the
Take us to
developers,
school.
well, first, Mark is funny. He said that he tried to, where is it? Oh, he normally puts his cell phone away for supper, but saw y'all on and decided to stream.
So we're the problem.
We're contributing to the
We're
distraction.
the problem.
Yeah,
Oh my
my
goodness.
bad.
Darius Shaw, hey fam. Congratulations on getting engaged. Yes. Tina
Congratulations.
Nance, welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anywho, like I was
Oh.
saying,
Hello, First Lady.
so they capitalize on
Mhm.
dopamine. What is dopamine, right?
Mm.
It's a neurotransmitter, a hormone, right? It's a reward hormone. So that feeling that you get when you for those of you, like say chocolate lovers, right? Chocolate lovers are really good for just having
Like
this
you're gonna say
moment.
slot machine.
I'm getting there.
Oh.
No, it's like this moment when you eat that chocolate,
Mhm.
that like
Mhm.
something you get. The thing that makes my mom hum when she's eating like really good food, like right? The thing that causes Wendy when we went, okay, y'all, look, we went to Vegas one time, right?
You don't have to put me out there like
So we went to Vegas one time. Everybody knows it. And if they don't know, they're gonna know now. And so Wendy is at this slot machine. We just got there, like, I don't know. We checked in. I'm looking for Wendy, and she's at this machine. And I'm like, hey, it's time to go and do whatever it's time to do. And she's just like, hey, get away from me. You're messing up my luck.
Yeah, that's not the point you're
That was-
making. The point to be
but
made is
wait a
that when
minute.
you walk into the place, there are lights, there's sounds.
Yeah.
It's just like,
That's true.
and it's just loud, and then you hear it, and it's just
Right. See, look,
Yes.
did you see that? It's that right? because there's that feeling that you got the first time you won.
Yes,
It's like a shot of something. It makes your heart like, and it
feels
you
had to do
nice.
You had to pull the thing down
and the
versus
people
push the button.
And the people,
Not
they
the
know what
same.
they're doing. Even I got caught up on the Wheel of Fortune slot machine
Oh,
because
my
when you
goodness.
win, they scream Wheel of Fortune, and then the wheel starts spinning. And it's like,
That's
I can
the
still
best
remember that
one.
feeling. It's rewarding.
That's the best one.
Right. And so
It was like in unison.
yes. Right. And I'm like, oh man, I'm caught up. Oh, they got me.
Yes.
But that's what that mechanism, that feeling that we get, that's what the developers of apps and phones have done. They've created that. They created Vegas in the palm of your hand.
Yes.
Right. And so if you're stuck on those games that you're stuck on and you're on level like 10,020 right now, because you just can't stop, because you keep winning.
Yes.
And even if you listen to it, even the sounds, there's something about it, right?
Yeah.
It's rewarding. We enjoy it.
Yes.
And so we keep going and going and going, right? And so, or let's take something as simple as followers, right?
Oh, okay. So hold on.
I'm getting
Tasha Jones, thanks for joining us. Jennifer Marner, I mean, you know, that's my girl right there. She says, oh, you hit the nail on the head there. Lots of bells and whistles going off means I'm important. So I do want to come back to that.
Boom. So exactly. So exactly where I'm going, right? Because you get, say, that first 100 followers, and that was a goal. You're like, wow, 100. Well, now 100 is just like, And so in order to get that same satisfaction, you gotta maybe push to 200, then 5, then 1,000.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it's likes on that post you had, right? The first like you got ever, you're like, oh yeah, somebody likes it.
Yeah.
But now more and more. And so we're conditioned. Every time we see that something pop up, you go online, and like I was on LinkedIn, and this picture I put up, it got like, it was at 200 one day, and then boom, next day it was at 1,000. I'm like, wow, there was something that kind of shot through me a little bit, like,
I know.
Hey.
Yeah, because you're like, yeah.
I mean, so all I'm saying is,
I mean, it's not normally doesn't happen, and now it happened in a day. What normally happens in a week happened in a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So rewarding, right?
Natalie Bryan, thanks for joining us.
Gratifying.
Yes.
And so that is what is happening. So dopamine is the same thing that's released. You know, we talk about, you look at drugs and sweets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We have receptors that take on dopamine. So really those things, what they do is impact how much dopamine we take in a given moment, right? I mean, to put it plainly. And so it feels good. And so we continue to do it. But you don't experience it. Here's the trick.
What's the trick?
You don't experience it as feeling good. You experience it as, I just want to look over here and pick up my phone and check something. That's it. That's benign enough. I'm just going to reach over here, and you don't experience it as this euphoria, because now we're kind of into a different place where you just now feel like you need it. Right?
So now you're tapping into some other things, right? Because there are some of us who are people pleasers. Let's be honest. There's some of us who are seeking acceptance.
Yeah.
There are some of us who can't wait to comment on everything. I mean, so there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Right? Monica Wilson Ferguson, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Eric Lee, Matthew Calzaretta, did you shout them out?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Hey,
you
what's
got
up?
a different thing. Yes.
I got y'all. So, so that I just want to say, it's not completely your fault. It's only your fault that you know and you don't change.
Wow.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, we're all guilty.
Yeah.
A lot of us are guilty, right?
Yes.
And so it is important to recognize that mechanism is happening, because the only way to kind of break that is to change up something about what you do, that reinforcement that you get to kind of break that cycle. But the fact right now we're sitting at, I don't know how many responses we have. We're at 88% smartphones while in bed at night.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Smartphones in particular have completely changed the way we do relationship. And I even share something with you that I have not shared with you. Well, you met on it. That don't mean you got to live on it, though.
Yeah, I'm just
Am I
saying.
right?
I mean, I'm just saying. It has completely changed. One of the earlier comments talked about that, now you can do everything on your phone that it used to take several devices to do. So you don't
Yeah.
have to go to your computer to check your email
Yeah.
or Google something or whatever else. So the phones as smart devices do everything. You can even stream a movie on your phone.
Right.
So your whole world is in the palm of your hand. Hey, Angela Roundtree, thanks for joining us.
So look, and so I need y'all to understand that it does not, your phone company and these developers, they don't care that things are convenient for you. All they want to do is keep the phone in your hand. That's it. They want to like get that thing in your life so that it becomes your life. And to some extent, they've done a really good job.
Yes.
But here's the thing, they completely changed the way that we live relationships. I mean, think about it. How much time of the 89-90% of you who use your phones in bed, what would you be doing if you did not have that phone?
Yeah, good question. I think you're distracted by the responses.
I'm not. I'm looking right there. The responses are what the responses are.
I know, but you keep checking.
No, I just checked twice. Anyway, what would you be doing? Right? And how often have you argued to keep the phone in the bed? Think about it. Right?
Yes.
The world in your palm is you, your spouse, and the world.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you what you would be doing, because we'll share with you what we do. Oh, okay. What kind of? We'll share with you what we had to do and what we currently do. So the truth is, I was the first one to answer that poll. And yes, I do have my phone in the bed at night. And so even though I have tried to change, right, it's hard because it has become a habit. So my name is Wendy, and I am a bed cell phone user. So with that said, Nate Parsons joined us. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Nate.
So always glad to have you here. And Bernard Williams, Bishop. So glad you could join us.
Bishop.
So if
devices equal division. Yes, sir. Check out that first minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we're Mike and Wendy Perry in the Marriage Shop, and we're talking about devices dividing.
Yeah.
And so, and it's not just the phone, the laptop, the game, or whatever else. It's any device that keeps you from having a face-to-face connection.
Yeah.
So I think that was something that we put out there. Are you spending more time on a screen, looking at a screen, or looking at a face?
Yeah. And I think that I have a confession to make, I guess.
Oh, yes.
You've not heard this. So this is this is fresh for everybody.
Is this where you want to say this?
It is. And so, because it's not, we talked about the bed, right? But it's not just about the bed. It's everywhere. It becomes all encompassing. And so a lot of times when we're travel now, and so whoever's in the passenger seat will spend a lot of time on the phone. And I remember back in the day, we used to like notice things, right? And so you're kind of sharing a trip together unless somebody's sleeping.
Yeah, you go out immediately when I'm driving.
So, okay, and so you find that all of a sudden there's all these experiences that you're not having, these little things that actually become the sum total of the life that you live together, and you miss it. And so there are times when Wendy would notice things that I've noticed about 20 times, and it'll be kind of like something new. And I remind her, well, I mean, man, that's been up for like, I don't know, a year. Seems you missed it. But just the other day, I decided, you know what? Because you mentioned something, I forgot what it was, that you just noticed. And I just decided to just pause and appreciate the fact that you noticed it. And so now we had shared that thing instead of reminding you that you weren't paying attention or you were on your phone or whatever.
That's big.
Yeah.
You did that on your own?
On my own, indeed. All by myself.
Okay.
Do I get some sugar for that?
Yes. Later.
It's gonna cost you more later.
So you bring up a good point, right? We sometimes, and this is biblical, right? It's so much easier for us to notice and point the finger at what the other person is doing than it is for us to see fault in ourselves. And so we could go on, but how far you take that, right? If you weren't on your phone, then fill in the blank, right? And so the truth is, and I think based on what you all said in the poll response, that the phones are dividing us somewhat, right? So, okay. So
Yeah,
go
I mean,
ahead.
you say dividing us somewhat. I believe they are fundamentally changing our lives together.
But
I
that
would go
wasn't the
that far.
question you asked. That's why I said somewhat.
Well, I know now I'm elaborating, taking it to another
Okay.
another
Okay.
level.
So, yes.
Yeah, I think fundamentally they're changing the lives that we have together.
Yes.
Right?
So one thing that is probably clear is one of us is device averse, right? And it is
Device averse. I mean, that's strong. I mean, I got a Samsung.
okay. So one of us is
That
an early
Galaxy?
adopter. That's what they're called.
Early
and then one of
adopter?
us is
Where
not.
you going with this?
I'm just saying.
Not device. I
saying.
am device aware. I am device woke. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of what's really going on. I know what's behind the curtain.
Yeah. So, Michelle, thanks for joining us. So, Kim Aiken says, I love to read books on my phone at night. However, more than likely, it's after intimacy. So, you went past it. So, I'm guilty. I mean, I was reading it off the screen.
Oh, my bad.
So, did I vote? Yes, voting has ended. So, yes. Okay. So, fundamentally agreed that. Okay. So, I'm guilty for sleeping with my phone. Ooh, all right. Mark Jenkins, I need proof. Makiba Jackson, this is us. Good topic. Jennifer Marner, the Apple Watch more than phones for us. Yes. You're not tracking any steps in the bed, Jen. Fundamentally agreed.
Like,
is it ironic that I'm watching this on my phone?
There's a certain degree of irony, and we're encouraging you to watch it on your phone. So is that hypocrisy?
Well, it's 1 hour.
It's when
1 day a week.
And this is when matters, but also the purpose matters.
Yes.
You know
okay. I mean? So Ron Harvey, thanks for joining us. He says, I'm so exhausted by my phone by 7 p.m. that I disconnect from it by 8 p.m. I don't know how I got there. You don't know how you got to the point where you disconnect by 8 p.m.? Is that how, what don't you know?
What prompted you to disconnect by 8 p.m.?
Yes. Say more, Ron Harvey.
Yeah.
You're always full of wisdom.
Yeah, because that might mess around and be something.
Yeah, but one of the things you were saying earlier sounded to me like you were saying, or you were touching on addiction.
Well, I was talking around that, but I specifically did not mention addiction.
Yeah, but that's what it sounded like you were describing.
Right. So here's the thing: addiction. I mean, textbook addiction has some marquee type things, right? And so I'm not trying to push our cell phone, even though people use it all the time. I will not colloquially. Our cell phone use is just what it is, right?
Okay.
It's a habit that actually is quite breakable because probably what will not happen if you stop using your cell phone, if you put it in another room, if you kind of back off on the time, you probably won't have withdrawal symptoms. They probably won't have to put you in an inpatient facility and drug you up in order to prevent adverse physical effects.
I don't know. So DeAndre Cochran, thanks for joining us. I sent that special invitation out with the new information that came out.
I see what you're doing. I see you.
Okay, sorry.
That's all.
So with that said, in terms of addiction, right? So here's the question. Is this a poll question? Well,
the last poll question was, one or both of us wishes we had more FaceTime and less screen time. So that was, I just kind of silently slid that one in there.
Yeah, I saw that one go in there. Yeah. But yeah, so this is here's the question of the night. Okay, so maybe not. Who's in control? You or your device?
I mean, who's that for?
Everybody.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Who is in control?
So when the phone buzzes, is the phone making you, is that like the phone saying, hey, pick me up? So, and I introduced this because
pick me up,
my husband is intent on not allowing our dogs to train us, right?
Yep.
And so it flips quickly. It goes from what we control to what controls us is kind of the point of me introducing that question, right? So is it that I say when I say how I say
goodness gracious. All you Pretty Women fans.
Oh my goodness. Anyway. Yes.
So, but it's funny because, well, okay, so the dog, he has been
Mm-hmm.
trained to sometimes ring the bell to go out, which is kind of cute
Mm-hmm.
until he rings it to go out. And it's like, ding, time to go out, Mike. You said if I ring the bell, this is what you do. Get up, ring, ring. So I would not be trained.
And he's like, yeah, you're not training me. Ruby throws the ball to you, and then she looks at you, looks at the ball, looks at you, looks at the ball, and then she says,
Go get the ball, Mike. It's like, wait a minute.
"Oh,
It's
what
like the
is
tail wagging the
happening?"
dog here.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
So ask that question to yourself. So that's my question to you.
Mhm.
Who's in control, you or your device? Jennifer Marner says addiction, not so much from my generation. She's in the 70s, baby, 70s, 80s.
She's kind of sort of our
baby's
generation.
generation.
Yeah.
But she says, but take that phone from a teenager and see major meltdowns. They can't cope.
Well, they can cope,
Well,
but what we sometimes we succumb to the crazy, and we just but they are different, right? Because
Mhm.
the teenage brain is different. It changes quickly, it adapts quickly, and so coming up in a generation where
Mhm.
they don't know a time without a smartphone, I mean,
Yes.
it is different. And so what you should expect to see if you
Mhm.
remove the phone from them
Mhm.
is a whole different creature.
Yes.
You got to be ready for that, right? But they'll be fine. But we're not talking about kids tonight.
Right. So, in your marriage, is your device dividing you? So
Mm-hmm.
let's get to what you do about it. I mean, so what is the possible impact, and then what do you do about it?
Mhm.
So one of the things that my husband did in our marriage was he suggested that we take the TV out of the bedroom.
I begged.
He suggested
Well, I
that he take the
suggested
TV
first,
out of
and
the
then,
bedroom.
then I begged.
I grew up watching TV. I had a TV in my room from before I could really even talk. I mean, I was like 4 years old with a black and white TV watching Perry Mason at 11 o'clock at night. So
Perry Mason.
don't judge my parents. But I was watching
Perry
Perry Mason.
Mason.
I mean, the music, the courtroom, the cases.
Perry
It was,
What were you, like 7?
I was 4, 5.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm
That
sorry.
may be why I saw problems today.
Perry Mason.
As I digress,
Okay.
I grew up with a TV. Candace Terrell, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Candace.
And so I've always had a TV, and it was how I would wind down, right? So it was something I always had. We had a TV in our room, and he suggested that we remove the TV from the room. Well, as you might imagine, and might be the case in your marriage or relationships, you'll have one person who says, this is something that we need to do. This is important. This thing is dividing us. And you may have 50%, the other 50% saying, you're trying to take something away from me.
Yeah.
How is this good for us? And then it becomes a thing that not only on a typical day divides you, it now becomes a thing that causes you to causes tension.
Mm-hmm.
And so I eventually agreed. He wore me down. I eventually agreed, and it was probably one of the best decisions that we made, because we said at the beginning that there are other things that you should be doing, right? And particularly in the bedroom. So
Particularly in the bedroom.
what are the replacement things, right? So when you are addicted
Things.
and you have that phone in your hand all the time, or that device gets all of your attention, what do you do to exchange the behavior, right? So when you're trying to change a habit, it's not just enough to will yourself to do it. I mean, how many of you have tried and just haven't done it? I mean, I know Mark Jenkins said, hey, tried it.
All for the
So,
execution.
because it sounds good, but it's
Yeah.
hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you got?
Well, you got to, I'm thinking about going for a whole different kind of euphoria.
Okay,
That
what's
the
that?
phone cannot deliver. Well, I mean, what we tell people in practice is that the
Mhm.
bedroom is really for two things.
Mhm.
Two,
Mhm.
right? Sleep and getting busy. That's it.
Well,
Period.
sex.
Sex. That's getting busy.
Yeah, it was getting
The
busy too,
slang.
y'all. Late 70s, 80s babies.
Y'all know what getting busy is.
Sleep or sex.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those starts with phone.
Nope. And if either of them do, then you need to go a few weeks back. Is that even still up?
Oh, what?
The one that we're talking about, like pornography and all that business.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Whole different topic. But
yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, when I said that, I'm like, neither of those starts with phone, and then phone sex jumped in my mind. That is so wrong.
I mean, but hey, whatever you do in your that's a whole different topic.
Nothing should be in your bed except
people.
You and your spouse.
Yes.
No dogs, no children.
No dogs, no children.
2 humans.
No phones. With
That's
pictures
it.
of dogs or children. That's it. Right.
And maybe a few less pillows for some of y'all.
For some, maybe a few more. Whatever. Though, but because you have to appreciate that phones are completely changing our relationships.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that some of you have gotten into, there's been tension around having phones. Think about, what are we fighting for?
Yeah. Attention.
What is more important, right? And so critically important that you kind of begin to create space and use that space for you too. And by the way, when we took that TV out, within 2 weeks, we were getting like 2 extra hours of sleep every night.
Yeah, so it definitely helped our sleep life and it helped our sex life. Facts.
Yes, it did. Big facts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ron Harvey says, I'm not sure what I did to disconnect from my phone by 8, other than some people train me that they will make everything important. My voicemail is often full to capacity, so I'm so okay with letting people leave a message. Kim Aiken says, yes, my childhood shows were Murder, She Wrote, Andy Griffith, In the Heat of the Night. Oh my goodness.
Oh my! Yes. Were y'all like cousins or neighbors? Or?
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
that is so
she's a woman
funny.
after my own heart, and so she says
old school.
We remind each other when we see the phone is in the way. And yes, okay, Candace Terrell, but Haley won't get out of our bed. I can't wait until she does. Girl,
but you will wait if you wait on her.
Hey,
listen,
she got to go. I know it's hard.
Hard.
That first time, I got to just take this commercial break. That first time is really hard, but make sure she's safe in a safe environment, can't hurt herself, can't fall anywhere. Close that door, girl.
Yep.
And do not let her in. You will make it through the night. Trust me on this one.
Yep.
And your sex life will benefit.
And she will decide that a bed is better than the floor that she's trying to sleep on in order to manipulate you.
It may take a couple of times, but she'll get there.
Trust me on this.
Cute little face, she will try.
Yep.
They will try to manipulate you, but her place is not in your bed.
Yeah. So we'll come back. If y'all need more on that, we'll come back to that.
Sorry for that commercial break.
Right on.
Yes. Jessica Jones, thanks for joining us. So
hey,
you guys, if you're joining us for the first time or you just joined us, we're Mike and Wendy in the Marriage Shop. Tonight we're talking about devices dividing us. And so now we're finally getting around to how to get over it or what to do.
And we're spending a lot of time in the bedroom, right? I mean, devices divide us in a lot of places, right? Watching. It can be as simple as going down the road, just taking in whatever, going down I-95.
Yeah,
it can be watching television, and this happens to us actually quite a bit. It was like, hey, did you see that? Oh yeah, I saw it.
Well, it doesn't help me is that I can rewind. What I missed. Hold on, let me rewind.
Right. And so now all of a sudden a movie that's an hour and a half is 2 hours because of the rewinding. And so there's just a lot of things that we don't share because we are sharing a piece of our life with other people who are in our devices versus the person who's right in our space.
Yes. Well, and more than that, and where there's tension is we're sharing a piece of ourselves. So the attention that you're giving to something other than your spouse is going somewhere. Yeah. And a lot of the arguments that begin or the tension that surrounds devices is, hey, your attention is divided.
Yeah.
And what I want is your full attention. I want when I speak that you're hearing me. I want you to look at me. When we have time and this is our time, nobody else should be here. So I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to go ahead and activate that do not disturb function on your phone. That can be one thing that you do. That's a simple thing that you're doing that kind of takes it out of your hands, right? You set it and forget it. So activate do not disturb. Hey, Gloria Hamilton.
And I would invite you all.
Bye, Jan.
See you later. Be safe. So I would invite you all to consider what texting, messaging, calling, what all that really means. In my opinion, what it means is someone is reaching out and saying, hey, you know what? I have a minute. I want to talk to you. Would you like to speak with me as well? Would you like to connect with me? Would you like to whatever? We actually have the ability to say no, not right now. Yeah. Because what a lot of us are doing is we're basically living our lives on someone else's schedule as people reach in, right, and vie for your attention. And we want to give it to them instantaneously. And all of a sudden now the expectations have begun to shift. And so now it's no longer your time. That kind of irritates me a little bit. It makes me a little militant and belligerent around my cell phone thing. So if I don't respond to you immediately, sometimes it's just because it's just not a good time to do so. It's not because I don't know you're there. It's just that there's something that's taking priority. Yeah. And so we have to not only make our own lives priority, but make the life of your spouse priority as well. Yes.
And because ultimately it is about how you express what's important to you, and whatever gets the most of your time or the most of your attention, that translates into that is the most important thing to you at that time. So the first thing I said was to go ahead and set do not disturb on your phone. And then Candace Terrell just reminded me another thing that we try to do, and this we're still in this and we're still trying.
Yeah, so y'all see us at Cracker Barrel. Your phones be hypocrites.
Right, is to leave our phones in the car when we go into a restaurant. Yeah. Right. And it's as simple as that. So we have children, some of you have children. Always make sure that the kids are safe, and you know that everything is settled so that you're not constantly having to check, right? Until that is satisfied. But when you can, leave the phones in the car or go into the movie, dinner, anything where you are having an opportunity to connect or just spend time together, leave the phone in the car where you can.
Yeah. Yes. And matter of fact, yesterday after church, I put the phone, I don't even know where it was. But for 5-hour period. Yeah. Didn't have the phone. It was great. It was peaceful. You know? Yeah.
Well, especially when you're not panicked about it. I mean, because we had to go through a period of time where it's like if you left your phone and you were on your way to work, you were just going to be late to work because you had to turn around and get your phone. There was no way you could get through the day without being connected to that device. And so just consider that. And so Michelle says this is the second time she heard this week about protecting their time, establishing boundaries, right? Yeah. So we talk about establishing boundaries. We have talked about it in terms of who you let in, right? Physically let in and protecting your time. But this is not necessarily a physical threat. It's a digital threat, but it still needs to be contained, right? You still need to protect your time with each other from outside threats, basically.
Yeah. And the threat in this case is simply for your attention, because everything that you put in counts. Every seed that you plant counts. Every minute is a seed. And so where are you spending them? Yes. Right. And so you see people who've committed to doing certain things, whether it's lunch or dinner or breakfast or prayer or whatever. There has to be some time that is your own, exclusively yours. And there needs to be some specific boundaries and barriers around certain things. And that's why we spent a lot of time on that whole bed thing. Yes. Right. Yes. And so I think that to the extent that we do that, not only will the quality of our relationships change, but what our kids see changes just a little bit. Right. What they experience changes. Yes. And so there's nothing that's if we allow the device to do the driving, the device is going to do what the device does, which is draw us,
consume us
in more so, right? Yeah. So
it takes over all our time. So you bring up a good point, because we're quick to say, hey, I want to control your screen time, limit your screen time, and make sure that you're able to do your schoolwork, focus when you need to, get enough sleep, and all those things. That's what we say, but then we demonstrate something different. And what they see is that we are being controlled by our phones. Not a good look. So let's see. We are committed. Yes. So with that said, Jessica Jones, thank you for joining us. And she says, y'all are on my speaker so I can still cook. Multitasking queen, single mom here, longtime boyfriend, trying to be the best person and spouse for my future forever family. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for loving our videos. We're all human. #communication without being argumentative.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, right? And so the idea is that I'm not trying to take something away from you. I'm trying to give you something.
Yeah.
I think it's all in how you package it, right? So yes, I want you to put your phone down. And in exchange for you putting your phone down, I might just have something better than your phone over here for you.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, you do.
I think that's a song. I can make you put your phone down.
Is that a song? I've never heard this song.
Is that a song? Who is that song by? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. I can make you put your phone down. It's not, is that a rap or is that a Barbie type
it's
thing?
A song. I can make you put your phone down.
Okay. Anyway.
What?
So, but I think if you're able to find that time, if you're able to put the phone down for a few minutes.
Yes.
Or hours and really prioritize on what's important, you're going to
yes, it is a song, Gloria. It is a song.
I've never heard the song. You're going to improve your connection. You're going to be happier. You're going to have fewer arguments. Trust me on this one. It's almost a guarantee, right? And so because what you'll be doing is focusing on you.
Thanks, Candace Terrell. I can make you put your phone down. That's the song. Okay, Christina. Yeah. Hey, I see you. I see you. Who sings that song? Because it's a challenge, right? So that's my last point to challenge you guys. Can you make them put their phone down?
Can I make you put your phone down? It's a question.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yes, I can.
All right.
Yes, I can.
Oh, so, no, Charles Jones. What? I thought you had left already.
Give her a song, Charles.
Oh, it's Erykah
I've been
Badu,
waiting.
One of my favorites.
Is that Erykah Badu?
Thank you, Candace.
What album is that?
It don't matter.
Anyway.
Yes.
So look, but that's truly
the challenge to you guys this week.
but the easiest way is actually the way that you may find most challenging initially. But the easiest way to do this is, as Wendy she's talking about putting your phone down, something that kind of broke out in a sweat. We gotta get her in this thing. So the easiest way to do this is to physically separate yourself from the phone, right? Yes. We leave it in the car, oftentimes at restaurants. Oftentimes at home, we'll put it on the bar in the kitchen or something like that. Can't hear it, can't see it flash, nothing, because we are conditioned to respond to the buzzing and the flashing and all that.
Yes,
so easiest way, just sit it in another room. It'll be fine.
Yes,
trust me.
Yes.
Okay. And so it'll probably take you, on average about a good week in order to like really get that out of your system and to really appreciate what's happening. Some of you may appreciate it sooner than others, depending on how you use that extra time you have.
Yes. Well, I'll just say that MC Suleika says challenge accepted. What about the rest of y'all? So yes, that's the I can make you put your phone down challenge. You heard it here first in the Marriage Shop. And so Jessica Jones says, next topic, importance of quality time, making memories. I love it. We'll bring that next Monday if we can. Yes, I turn my notifications off so I can only see things when I pick it up. Yes.
And by the way, that reminded me, for all of you who are using I use it as my alarm excuse. Alarm clocks are cheap. Buy an alarm clock. I mean, seriously, stop it.
Yes, Ron Harvey says, you ain't going to text no one when you with me. Like, is that a song?
Oh, boy. It could be.
I like it. All right, Candace Terrell, accepted. Clarence Perry, you're in. We're checking back with you guys.
Put your phone down.
Yes. So,
that's what we going. That's what this is.
Yes.
We start a movement tonight.
Okay, so we're gonna put that out. So the challenge is launched. Were there any other questions you had? Was there anything else we needed to ask tonight? What was the last one?
I don't have any more questions tonight. That is the last one.
Yes.
I think that it's so important that we not passively kind of just exist and allow.
Love it.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What I said was not what you say. Love what?
No, Ron says so you can show me attention and I'll cut mine off too. It's a song. Go ahead. Okay, so here's the song. You ain't gonna text no one when you with me.
Remix. I
So
can make you put
show
your
me
phone
it.
down.
So you can
So-
show me attention, and I'll cut mine off too.
Yeah, we have to
It's a
work on the
song.
we have to work on the melody a little bit on that and just
Yes,
the
yes.
beat
We
out.
get that hashtag. Put your phone down.
But let's not be like passive and just kind of go with the flow, right? We got to
Mhm.
understand what's really happening. So, do you want a relationship with your phone, or do you want a relationship with the person that you said you spend the rest of your life with?
Right. It's about connection.
That's it.
Yes. So we appreciate you guys. And hey, Rella, thanks for joining us. Gloria says, fix it, Jesus. Yes. So we want to encourage you to spend more time connecting with each other, more
Mhm.
time, more FaceTime than screen time. The importance of staying connected, right? And not being divided by anything from the outside coming in or anything from the inside that could potentially be a threat. And so tonight we were talking about devices dividing us.
Mhm.
And just remember, it was a question that I asked, but you control your phone. Your phone and your devices do not control you.
Mhm.
And so with that said, what you got?
Christina
I know.
said, "Yeah, we got. You have no idea the bars we got. One day, one day.
One day. So
Yeah.
thanks you guys for joining us in the Marriage Shop. We'll be back next Monday. I think we're talking about making memories.
Are we? Who said we're talking about making memories?
That's what Jessica Jones asked for.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So what you
I
got?
thought we might consult on that.
Yes.
Hey,
what you got?
Jessica. Hey, no, nothing. I mean, I think I said all I'd like to say on that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, what we would like to know though, and maybe come back, comment on this, post on our page.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how it's going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, you can go light on the details. Y'all know what to put out there, but just tell us how it's going. Is it difficult? Do you see some changes?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you see some improvements? Maybe
Yes.
some things maybe you wanted to see. We'd like to know how it's going.
Yeah.
So make sure you like this, share this.
Mm-hmm.
If there's someone you believe needs to see it, and I think, given what I see, everybody needs to see this.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Quality time. We got it. Making memories. We got it. Rella, catch us on the replay. It's all good. And Ronnie Gilbert, so glad you could join us. We were so happy to see you guys. Sorry we didn't get to spend more time with you, but yeah, we are still a work in progress.
Yeah.
And we just want to be here to encourage you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be encouraged. We'll get with you all next week. Maybe.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Are we going to be?
Yeah.
Maybe the week after. We have some commitments going on all over. So
in two different directions next Monday night.
So we'll let you know.
It'll be the following Monday night, I think.
Oh, I guess we'll let you know now.
Yeah, the following Monday night. So not September the 30th, but the week after. What's that?
The 6th,
The first week in October.
7th, 6th,
So
7th
2 weeks.
of October.
2 weeks. Catch us here at 7.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.